There are no shortcuts in the education of a Marine commando. Lesson 3, survival, has to be learned the hard way, in the field. Forbidden all contact with a sparse Hebridean population, deprived of rations now for 3 days, these gaunt men must live by what they can snare and kill. They are candidates for an elite unit, the Marines' Mountain and Arctic Warfare Cadre, whose function is to behave extremely badly behind enemy lines.
Food for another couple of days.
Many days happy hunting. Whew, hot work. Hot work.
Western society is so unacquainted with real hunger that its effects on men fitter than most Olympic athletes is fascinating. What happens first?
Well, fatigue generally. It's a lot more difficult to bound these distances to the snares for a start. As you probably noticed, it took us a long time to get up here. It's very slow, one foot in front of the other routine, and that's only after 3 days. So although we think we're getting the goodness from the food, it's still taking its toll in energy. It's not as easy as it was to trug these distances. But you just got to take it a little bit more slowly, give yourself a little bit more time, and hopefully everything will be fine. But it's definitely, we can feel it, simple things like climbing over a fence. Now you sort of jump down the other side and you stop for a couple of seconds, get your breath, and then trudge on.
So that thing there is was your first meal?
Yeah, that and his little mate. His mate's lost the skin to his mate.
He was a bit of a tough hombre, actually, that one. We had to cook it for quite a while. We boiled it for a hell of a long time. But surprisingly enough, although they didn't smell too healthy, that's probably because they've been dead for a couple of days. The taste was all right. We had a fairly good stew out of it.
Yeah, a bit chewy.
You had to chew the meat a bit, but you enjoy it more that way. And if you get a small bit, it means you can get in again before these two, if you've got a big bit. But it was all right, surprisingly, and it doesn't taste...
Very rich meat, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've eaten things like snake and hedgehog and whatnot before, so why not go for ferret? We ate that on Saturday. Saturday we ate the ferret. It didn't half make the rabbit taste like steak on Sunday. Oh, dear, it was lovely, because it was a fairly big rabbit we got and stacks of meat on it.
Anything you're missing particularly? I mean, aside from grub, which is the obvious thing, have you got any craving for?
Really good cup of tea.
Cup of tea, yeah.
A really good
sugar.
British cup of tea with sugar and milk and digestive biscuits as well. You dunk them in, and then if you dunk them too long, the ends drop off. No, that's for craving. Like I said, we could murder a cup of tea or coffee a nice way instead of this nettle tea and things. Yeah. This nettle tea's all right, but the thistles tend to get stuck in the back of your throat.
Compared with some, Corporal Russ Craig has checked in at the Hebrides Hilton, a sturdy sheep pen. Clearly a house-proud man.
Just trying to make some rosette syrup at the moment. Cut all the centres out. Going to use them as bait for birds or something to try and set up another trap. I'm trying to make a cup of tea out of rosette syrup or something.
What have you missed most of all?
Most of all?
I mean, apart from grub, I mean, is there anything you've had a particular craving for?
Yeah, Mars bars. I had a dream about the wife the other night. It was weird, it was. You know, I was in my pit just dreaming about the missus, and she was sat at home with watching telly with the 2 kids, and she was watching a Mars bar advert. And every time I close my eyes and think about food or anything like that, I was thinking about Mars bars. It was dead weird that there was a missus sat at home watching a Mars bar advert. I couldn't believe it. It was weird. Who's it? Andy Dix, he keeps dreaming about Kentucky Fried Chicken because he goes ashore all the time and he's into Kentucky Fried Chicken. He keeps dreaming about that's his craving.
For most, however, even fantasy can't alleviate the horror of what has all the makings of a truly Last Supper.
We're not too sure about furry caterpillars. We do know, well, we've been told that if you singe the hairs off them, then they are edible. But then again, we've been told if you eat them, then they are poisonous. So we're going to give it a miss. We'll probably just use it as bait. I think you'd turn to things like that as a last resort if there's absolutely nothing.
Caveman living appears to concentrate the mind. Food is the be-all and end-all of conversation.
Take this off and burn the thing.
the Hot Point Mark II oven, this.
Whoa! Smell that!
I've been using peat on the fire, like I say, and obviously it's in large blocks. So I've been using a small blade, an old hacksaw blade, to cut the peat up. And it's just been getting that bad, the food-wise, with me. I can't even cut the blocks of peat if I was thinking it's gingerbread. And also in the morning, start the fires, we slice off the wood to make chippings to get going. And now I can't help thinking I'm cutting up bits of cheese. It's getting me on a joke, you know, everything's food, everything you look at.
By their fourth night in the open, and mercifully it's a mild November, the lack of food for some becomes a genuine predicament.
Not the gear you were issued with.
No. So I found it in a dustbin. First day we got here, got dropped off just down the road. And we had a good rummage through a dustbin there. We found these clothes, this bag, and a few other assortments that we're using, hopefully going to use to cook on if we get anything.
Right. Why have you changed into that stuff?
Well, it's about third day now. We've had nothing to eat. We can't catch any game. It's a pretty poor area. There's no trees or anything. That house is empty. We had a look up the first night and the second night. We had a good look through the shed and there's a push bike in there. So I'm going to get a push bike and have a ride down to the farm, see if there's anything I can get down there. Be it eggs, chickens, potatoes, anything. I'm just going to have a ride down there.
Right. You're in civvies because you don't want to get caught. What will happen if you are caught?
Well, if I'm caught, I'll be off the course, simple as that. But it's initiative and this, you know, they're out here, you've got a set of laws to stick by. They're only as a guideline. It's more or less you can do what you want as long as you're not caught, which is basically what you do.
Good luck. Let's go.
Cheers.
Russ Craig's expedition to borrow a bicycle may hardly be described as a consummate demonstration of the commando's art of feline stealth. Since Craig came close to waking graveyards, it's little wonder that the subsequent interrogation is inspired by profound suspicion.
But I fished
Get your tongue out.
Pardon? But I fished today, yesterday, and a rabbit today.
I'll put it in there, mate.
Okay.
You caught your first rabbit, you sure you weren't giving it?
It was caught it today.
Take out the contents of your pockets and put them in there.
Let's have a look and see if there's any.
That's probably one of them that was in the bin. With all the rest of that stuff.
You just stew most things,
Well, we
sauce as well.
Roast, we had baked potatoes, that type of thing. We've got some balls, we boil a lot. Stews.
Mac, what was that you found? You found a piece of paper with some cake crumbs in it.
Oh yeah, what they did, they found all that stuff in the bin at the top of the road. So I can't prove where that came from. I think that's where they got it from, actually. He's got it in his paper. Co-op.
Do you think they have managed to survive on just the turnip stew for 4 days?
They've had stuff that they found up there. They've had sugar. I know they've had tea. And there's some type of, whether they found powder milk in there or not, but there was traces of it there.
They've just been
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt at the moment. But they're looking quite weak.
Not only weak, but disorientated too. The manuals call this the dislocation of expectation and compound it with the irksome harassment of repeated searches.
That's the skin.
Ah.
Put it over there. Yeah. Got any matches left? Plenty of matches left?
Yeah.
What was your left? Not bad, yeah. There's the old cooking pot there, George, isn't it?
Yeah.
You said you were cold?
Yeah.
You're not doing the hot stones things that I told you? Has anyone seen Kosalik at all? Seen Kosalik?
Kosalik?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Why, is he still missing?
No.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea if you can smoke some stuff to take with you
During the
towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take with us.
to take with you.
Where are we going?
You might find out. Right, we'll see you later on. Have fun.
Have fun. The humour is wearing thin. There's a nervous edge to the laughter.
You looking for?
The problem is that no one will tell them how long all this is going on. It could be 10 more hours or 10 more days. And they haven't got rid of their tiresome shadows yet.
None of us slept a whole night yet. Just, you know,
Stay awake.
Keep waking up with terrible cramps. Yeah. We're all suffering from dizzy spells. Always lack of food.
There shouldn't be lack of food because you've got enough now.
Oh, lack of
Vitamins and sugar,
salt.
salt and all those things. Well, you find out there's enough natural salt, especially in some of the game that you got now carry its own beauty in that anyway. It's just your body's just now taking less salt than it normally does.
Yeah.
You probably find that if you're not drinking enough liquids, and you're roasting stuff there, but you always go for the stew, and then there's your drink after that, or what have you. Have you put any of the wild herbs in that, in any of your
I
cooking?
haven't found any wild herbs yet.
Nothing.
We don't really know what.
Oh, there's some wild grass.
I've seen that.
And there's also mint. You've got to walk for it.
A dissertation on the aromatic properties of British herbs is, of course, precisely what you need when starving.
Right, there it is there.
Oh, is that one?
And all you got to do is just rub it in your hand. Then you can smell it, yeah?
It grows in boggy bits. Is that the one?
No, it's on like a fairly firm stalk. It's not just in a little, but goes about that high.
Ignoring the cordon bleu lecture, they strike lucky with the hare. Served al fresco and consumed in a manner reflecting much credit on their mother's table training. Faces are beginning to reflect the strain.
Is it what you expected?
Yeah. It's not hard to go hungry, is it? But we've been a bit unfortunate because they say it's the best areas, but it is if you use the woods in it. The game stacks of rabbits around, but they're laughing at us anyway. Us three anyway. We put snares out and we've caught a couple, caught a few, but I met one of the guys from the other end. We went up there for a yum today. He was telling us they caught quite a few. I mean, the digger was catching quite a few initially, but now he's not. I don't know. You've been over there today?
No, he's not. He's not catching them.
Yeah, catching nothing. There's living off tutties and sweets.
What's been the worst bit of it? Is it the hunger?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think any of us can stand being cold and wet easy, no problem. Just live with that. It's just going without the food. I mean, that'll give you carbohydrates and not the old spuds in it, but it's just not as much food as you used to. It's a lot of things you take for granted, you know, back at home, and you should probably know that now, but you suddenly realise what you do take for granted once you're here.
Okay, dude. You haven't had that much. That's all right. You haven't what?
Haven't got that yet, no.
You haven't done that yet? Don't you think it might be a good idea?
Right.
Let's see, getting yourself a bit more cheery and a bit warmer. Okay. Let's have a look inside. Sure. See what we got. You just put this out soon, huh? Don't look too happy for it. Okay. Not getting enough food.
Where you've sighted your bivvy, as I told you in the first place, it's you're going to get gale force winds blowing through here. And if this wind picks up now, this won't last 5 minutes. It'll be away like a sail. Your fire's nothing compared to the others. People now, because they picked a decent location and didn't just plonk on the side of a river like this, quite out in the open, have managed to build ovens. They've got smokers. But what you seem to be doing to me is scratching around like three hens here. You've got to make a decision whether you're going to scratch around here forever or move about, move over within your area and see if you can find a better place. If this wind, as I say, picks up or what have you, in the middle of the night this is going to start going. It's probably now you've got a lot of turfs on the top here, it's probably a little bit better. But it is the worst group and you seem to be scratching. You're only at the beginning of it. Okay? You've got a long way to go yet. Now, if you're going to start getting worn down, as I can see the looks of you that you are, you ain't going to make it right to the very end. Yeah?
But the end is in sight. Camp is to be struck tomorrow. Day 7 of what had been planned as a 10-day exercise.
Great. You're living like kings now.
The management have deemed that a mild November has made conditions too soft. Goodwill is re-established by rewarding each man with a single boiled sweet.
Okay. Before I forget, this little present goes along with it.
Cheers. I don't. Can I have a cigarette instead? Can I have a smoker?
Got enough smoke down here. Cheers.
It's too good, mate. I can't ask for much more, can I? Yeah. And the sight of a happy matlaw.
They have yet, of course, to encounter the snow and ice that is to be their ultimate fighting terrain. But even here, any man could have quit had he wanted. Did that ever occur to Corporal Craig's group?
Earlier in the week we were, because we'd heard about the other groups catching stacks of game, and we wasn't catching so at all. The first 3 days, personally myself, I was all ready for wrapping my hand in, throwing the tail in. I don't know how these two felt, but I was threaders. We weren't catching anything, and I didn't see how I could stand another 7, 8 or 9 days of it. I was really fed up.
I think if it had carried on for a few more days, then yeah, I'd have probably thought about wrapping my hand in. But as soon as we got the vegetables, then things changed, and the morale did pick up a bit.
Because on Friday you saw the demonstrations, and then it looks very good because you see all the meat and all the vegetables and all things you can eat. And after 2 days, when you haven't catch anything, then it's boring.
With no enemy to liven things up, what do they do to combat the tedium?
The big advantage of this week is that I had a lot of time to think about my girlfriend. That was very nice because the other weeks you are working so hard that there is nearly no time left to think about your girlfriend. And this was a good time.
I tried not doing that because whenever I thought of my missus, it made me get depressed. But when I'd be thinking about... No, I didn't mean it like that. Fair one. No, but when I was thinking about the work we've got to do and the food we've got to try and get and where we're going to go and what we're going to do next and getting the peat and getting the fire going, I was busy and my mind was occupying. It wasn't so bad. But when I stop and think about, you know, my family, mother and father, brothers and sisters, my wife and kids, I'd feel really depressed and think, shit, let's get out of this place. I've had enough. You know, why should I be here? I don't have to be. I'm a volunteer, you know. I must be puddled. But when I was thinking about other things, it was all right. But as soon as I started thinking about home, I was depressed as hell. So I just stopped thinking about it. Try not to think about it.
What have you learned?
I don't know, saying, I think it's just how hard it is to survive, keep going. You think it's going to be a lot easier than it really is.
Specifically, what have your difficulties been?
Tiredness, I think. You know, going just the simplest chores after a while. It's hard work. My hat keeps on falling off. But apart from that, it's not too bad.
How are you?
Fine. Yeah, yesterday we got 2 rabbits.
Yeah. It's come to show us these slippers.
These slippers?
Oh yes, I like that. 40 side inwards. Oh.
Tiles on the front instead of the back.
Right. How you feeling?
Anything for sheep ticks?
Have you got sheep ticks?
Have I?
Let's have a look.
Probably all got them after the show, isn't it?
No, I just had mine in between my fingers.
You keep them where you want.
I found them every day up to you.
Oh, it's going to rain in a minute.
Fingers.
What do you want to see? Yeah, rain. It's only got around your wrist.
I thought you had them before you came out, digger.
They're crabs.
They're crabs. Right.
Pick them up.
Tomorrow, digger. I want you and your band of merry men to meet the transport there at 8:05. Okay, so you happy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. You'll survive till tomorrow, will you?
We got enough
that.
spuds.
Good.
Just wipe the smile off my face now.
Later. Oh, before I forget.
Oh, Mars bar.
Got something for you. No, not a Mars bar.
Galaxy.
Picnic.
Picnic. Is that what you want? Galaxy or Mars bar or picnic?
Galaxy.
Marathon. There's just the 2 there. There's another one. You're supposed to hand them out, you know.
No, we'll fight. Oh, we don't have to
Oh,
fight
a red
over
one.
the colours.
What are we going to do? Boil it or roast it?
Well, this is up to you. You can make tea. You make tea out of it.
Good idea. I might just suck it.
Suck it and see.
So the bishop do that.
Different from rose hips.
Right, we'll see you later.
Norman's
Yeah, tomorrow
lurchers
morning.
just doing...
Don't be late.
5 past.
Set the alarm for
Straight in the back.
My bladder will crack me up by then.
Where's the booty? Right, good job you left it intact. You will be just down from this house, around there, at 8:10 tomorrow morning to be picked up. Right? That's what I want you, at 8:10 tomorrow morning.
Right.
We're going to need that rabbit, don't we?
Well, that's up to you. Right, make sure this lot is taken down and put back where you got it.
Yeah.
And I want the whole area cleared of all this rubbish. I don't want to see that you're here at all. I'll be around to check it after you've gone.
Okay, George.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, it's Salt McLean about.
No, what's up?
No, he's promising me a sweet next time you come.
Oh, I've got them for you.
Oh, you got one, George?
Yeah.
Super.
You've been looking forward to this?
Yeah. I've been waiting for my sweet.
That's one for each.
Yeah, I'll give John his.
Okay.
Is it one more thing?
That's it. No questions on that?
No. Nothing.
Happy with what you got to do?
Yeah, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
8 o'clock. Completely cleared.
Yeah,
Okay.
no probs.
Right. I'll see you later then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It would be an invidious question to ask you whether you're pleased with that news.
No, I like it here.
Super.
How have you been getting on? What have you learnt?
Well, we had the talking to the other day. We've been existing as opposed to living, really. I think if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
We were getting by all right, but obviously they went to the Rolls Royce, so we done the stove. We actually caught a rabbit. Have you seen him? Have you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Smoked him.
Yeah. He almost got it. I thought we'd better save it anyway for the rainy day.
You'd worked it out right.
Yeah, but there's more.
What have you learnt this week?
Well, learnt to snare. You know, catching game and that. I don't know. It's little things that you find out about yourself. You just, you know, you either hack it or you don't. I mean, I had no problems. It's been okay.
Little things you found out about yourself, such as?
Whether you want to pass the course or not. I mean, I want to pass the course, so, I mean, you put up with this. You get bored. You know, you don't think you get bored, but you do. It is a bit boring.
One of the other groups, one of the people in the other groups, said they, on the third day, thought very seriously about wrapping their hand in. Did that ever cross your mind?
No, I've never thought about rapping. You know, I just sort of look at this as part of it. I mean, I know there's a lot more at the end of the tunnel, like, you know, there's a lot more good things. You're bound to get some bad. I mean, it wouldn't be worth doing if it was easy, would it, really? I mean, there's got to be a challenge to it.
They think it's over, but it's not. As the transport arrives to collect them, they are to discover that their end-of-term euphoria is premature. What should have been a welcome sight is suddenly transformed into something almost sinister.
From now on, you'll be known by these numbers.
Abruptly, they are deprived even of their names and become mere ciphers.
And from now on, you'll be known by these numbers only. There's stuff there.
Even the right of expectation has been snatched away from them again, just as it would be if they'd been caught behind enemy lines. It increases their apprehension.
Save the wagon, hands in the side of the wagon.
You'll now be given a number, you'll be known by that number from now on.
Squeeze right up, keep quiet.
Keep quiet. He's right up.
There are certain aspects of the training as well as the operations of Britain's Special Forces units which may not be publicised. We were not permitted to film what happened next, a decision determined by the Official Secrets Act. Next week, back on the mainland, we are governed by no such constraints. There is much more a behind-the-lines fighter has yet to learn.